Well, young girls everywhere are heartbroken as it was announced late last night that singer-songwriter and teenage heartthrob Jake Parker will not go through with his previously announced world tour because of a serious health concern.
Why are you losing weight?
I don't know, Kat, and I don't care. I thought you said we had bigger things to worry about.
Whoa, what the?
That's a scene from the upcoming feature film called The Incredible Jake Parker. And Molly, Ryan, Jay, and I have a small scene, which was fun, but the movie actually has a more serious message.
You mean we're stars of the movie. That's what you mean to say, right?
Yeah, I did.
It's about a teenage pop star's struggle, actually, with an eating disorder. And we are joined by the writer and director, Angelo Thomas. Hi, Angelo.
Hey, Angelo.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. And tell us a little bit just about how the film came to be, the genesis of it.
Yeah, so I struggled with an eating disorder myself throughout college and high school. And 2 years ago today, actually, I published a book called The Incredible Jake Parker that was loosely inspired by my experience and what I had gone through. And I think as a writer, I found it as a way to just kind of make sense of that chapter of my life and kind of what happened. And then right after that, we got to work on making it into a film, and we shot it last summer in Louisiana. And here we are today.
So if that part relates to you and you kind of wrote that about your own experience, did you also want to be a pop star?
No, no, that's the fictional part. I'm not musically inclined, although I did write some of the songs in the film.
How are you doing?
You did?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. How are you doing now with the eating disorder? Do people consider themselves cured, or is it something that you more manage?
I mean, it depends on the person. I think for me, I consider myself recovered is the term that we use. Some people, they can be in recovery for 10, 15 years. Sometimes it's a lifelong thing. But I think for me, I was pretty motivated and pretty dedicated to getting past it. And yeah, I feel like that's pretty much behind me now.
I love that, it showcases a male in that role, kind of mimicking after your life, because I think it's so important for young people to see gender, knows no bounds when it comes to things like an eating disorder or other illnesses and such. What else is the film about? So it's about his struggle with that, but clearly there's this musical component as well.
Yeah. So, as a, lover of musicals myself, as my friend Ryan J as well, it was really important to me to incorporate music into the film, especially since the character is a singer. So there are 4 original songs in the film that were written by myself, by Liam Wall, the main actor, and by Austin Moore, who's the composer. And yeah, so it's a big part of the film. And I hope that that's something that people connect to and that they think is, something worth listening to aside from the film itself.
Tiff and I have been kind of joking this morning about our role in the film, which is incredibly small. But just tell people, if you would, because we were excited to be part of it, why you decided to incorporate an interview with Ryan J in the film. Yeah,
so a big part of the film is kind of what it's like to struggle with an eating disorder while being in the spotlight. And that's kind of inspired by, a lot of celebrities like Britney Spears and even Demi Lovato and people like that who have struggled with mental illness or addiction or things like that in the spotlight and kind of how the media looks at that and how that affects their well-being. So I happen to be friends with Ryan J, who is on your show quite often. And I was in Milwaukee a couple years ago for Summerfest, actually. So we connected then, and it's kind of been this idea since then of like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you were in the film? And then I think last fall we were actually able to do it, and I was like directing from like a cell phone. So yeah, it was pretty cool, and you guys are great in that scene.
Well, it's funny you say you were directing from a cell phone. You were directing through an iPad to us while we were filming. Yeah. But in general, the whole film, has been affected with the pandemic. So how has that changed? Obviously our scene was pre-pandemic, but I assume that the ending of the film and how it's transpired since then has been affected.
Yeah, for sure. So we were supposed to release it in May, and it was actually going to be released in theaters in Columbus, Chicago, and Milwaukee. It was going to be at the Avalon Theater in Milwaukee. But because of the pandemic, we pushed it to September, hoping that things would be better by then and that we would be able to show it in theaters. we're just not there right now. So we're making the most out of the situation by doing a streaming release, and it'll be on DVD as well.
Wonderful. Angelo, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's great to
Yeah.
talk to you.
Yeah, thank you. It's been nice talking to you too.
And congratulations on your film.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And the film The Incredible Jake Parker will be available to stream this Friday through the Vimeo app. It's also online at incrediblejakeparker.com.